So Bam has dropped back to the 18th position, finished 15th in race number 1. Good qualifying effort in 13th. So the halfway point of race number 2 for the NZV8's from Timaru, round 4 of the Motorsport New Zealand Premier Race Championship Series. Angus Fogg with a 1.1 second advantage over Kane Scott, with Craig Baird right in behind. Don't go away, we'll be back with more from Timaru. Andy Booth, can he hold off Andy Knight here as we look at the race leaders? Angus Fogg. Angus now just looks to be taking a little bit of control here, Mark.
He has, but I don't think he's going to take much control over this, because it's only going to take him to flutter for a second, and those other guys will be right there. Andy Booth doing a sterling job here. He's managing to hold off Andy Knight. And it's interesting to see, Jamie, where Boothie has a slight advantage over Andy Knight. This seems to be off turn 3. This part of the track, Andy Knight's all over him, but the passing opportunities for passing here are very limited. Unless he can get a bit of a run here into the hairpin, it's really restricted from there on in. Can he do anything at this stage? Look for him to pull out.
Maybe up the inside to the hairpin, but just looking at the lap times now.
Oh, yes, he did.
Up the inside.
Now, can Boothie live there?
A little bit of contact off the exit. McLaughlin wants a part of it as well, so Andy Knight.
I have to say, when he actually went to the corner, I thought Boothie had actually done enough to slow the car down, but just a little bit too much car speed. Now, what can McLaughlin do?
Said McLaughlin can get around Booth.
Now, I'm pretty confident to say Boothie wouldn't have shown McLaughlin around this track and told him where to pass him this time round.
No, did make that mistake at Terratonga. Spent a little bit of time with Scott McLaughlin, and Boothie showed him where his favourite passing place was, and McLaughlin spent most of the 2 races in front of him and took that opportunity away from him every lap. He's not going to do that again.
No, you see Johnny McIntyre having a look down the inside of Craig Baird. Probably more of just the dummy to try to get Craig off his game plan. Didn't really work.
On board with McIntyre, he's definitely closed the gap. That's probably gone from 6 to 8 car lengths to being right in behind the United Video 1. In behind these guys, Mark, looking at the lap times, Boothie actually had set his fastest lap on lap 8 before Knight got to him, so he was getting quicker, but obviously Knight's got much more car speed.
It's pretty hot this afternoon as well, so maybe these teams have just engineered their cars to come on from lap 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and then persevere them for the last couple of laps.
There's Andy Knight, he's already starting to get away from Andy Booth.
You see he's been ready. See the different attitude in the car now of Andy Knight. The car's sitting nice and flat. He can do his own natural racing lines, use every inch of track straight away, 4 or 5 car lengths within a lap.
Let's see if Scott McLaughlin can maybe get to Andy Booth as John Penny pulls out of the draft battling there with Paul Manuel. Jason Barguana, not quite as strong as he was in the first race. Had some rear tyre trouble in the first race. They've made some setup changes for this one. John McIntyre, letting know Craig Baird that he's there. I think Craig knows he's there somehow. Back on board with Johnny Mack, former 2-time series champ. Some different lines through there, Mark, already.
Just looking at those 3 cars, Kane Scott, Craig Baird and Johnny Mack, and not one of them were the same, were they? All a different interpretation now. Here we go, Scott McLaughlin down the inside. Boothie would have learned from a couple of laps ago.
Yep, definitely covers to the hairpin down to first gear in a NZV8. Short shift to second to 7. Boothie's not too bad out of that part of the course. He actually gets away there from McLaughlin. So Angus Fogg with a 1.2 second advantage. Majority of the top 6 are lapping pretty similar lap times, 107.1, 107.1, 107.3 for McIntyre.
Yeah, interesting as well, though, that Andy Knight's been released. He's done a 107.4, so he's only 1/10 of the car in front, which is Johnny McIntyre. So Andy Booth was obviously struggling a bit for longevity in that car and was just holding him up a little bit. So now he's been released, he can forge ahead. Yeah,
Knight's just done his fastest lap, as you said, Mark, at 107.485. Still the fastest lap of the race at 106.751.
Or now dust in front, actually. What if that was one of the 4 cars in front? Maybe have a look.
Yeah, it was a fair way. It wasn't 90 that maybe dropped a wheel off ahead of Boothie.
It seemed like Andy Knight actually drove through it as well, but they all seem to be line astern. There's no colour on the side of the track, which means a car's spun off, so maybe just someone just kissing the inside curb somewhere. Scott McLaughlin. Oh, that's
John Penny.
Wow, gosh, that's
out of 10th. John Penny in the tyre wall of the Penny Homes Ford. Was battling with Paul Manuel, much short for the top 10, and that's a pretty solid impact.
That's a huge hit, Jamie. Ford. Main thing is you'll see JP getting out of the car there, just probably switching something off. Bit of a fire extinguisher in his hand.
Oh, Here's the peak replay. What happens here? Oh, he's done it all by himself up to the hairpin. That's odd. Under brakes, has he maybe had a brake failure? Or has he just got off the racing line?
He's just gone, it's almost like the throttle or something jammed, because the car made no attempt to de-accelerate except when it hit the tyres. So, yeah, like you say, hard one to call.
Well, there's only a couple left to go here.
Now that's Scott McLaughlin being filtered back through, having inside of Paul Manuel to readdress the position.
Yeah, he's in behind Bargwana, so that position's definitely changed. McLaughlin.
Right, here's yellow flags, so they won't be able to do any passing here because of the John Penny incident.
Oh, what's happened to Scott McLaughlin? While we were watching John Penny go off and the subsequent replays. So the race had sort of settled down. It wasn't too much going on, and come inside the last 2 laps. Now the last lap board out for Angus Fogg, so they are not bringing out the safety car. Foggy's got this under control, looking to extend his championship lead by a further 15 points over Craig Beard. Foggy just doing a masterful job in the LG News Talk ZB Ford.
I wonder if there's a bit of oil on the track. That's what caught some of these guys out, because Johnny McIntyre last lap time, a 1:08.3, so he's almost 1.2 seconds slower than the lap before. Perhaps there's a bit of debris on there that we can't see. Scott McLaughlin obviously struggling sometime for straight line speed because he's getting...
Yeah, he's got a mechanical issue because Eddie Bell and Tim Edgell are both going to motor on by him. So McLaughlin just falling back through the field in the last couple of laps.
Tim Edgell in the background.
He's gone around. Well spotted, Mark.
You could just see that he was just running out of room, too much rear brake on the car, he had nowhere to go, and the best thing he could have done was spun, otherwise he was going to go probably through the back of Eddie Bell's car.
Well, Angus Fogg looking for 2 from 2 for the weekend to extend his championship lead. He was 10 down on Beardo going into the round. He now leads by 20 points. Fogg takes the victory in race 2 in Timaru. Kane Scott second, Craig Beard third, John McIntyre in fourth. Fifth across the line as we've got McLaughlin going off in the last lap. Andy Knight getting through to fifth. So the Super Cheap Auto Holden going off on the run down to the checkered flag.
I'd like to have a look at that, because I think he's been assisted actually there. I know one of the guys knew he was going to be wounded and was probably trying to take advantage, and maybe took the inside of him and just pushed him wide. But well, take nothing away, Angus Fogg showed a clean set of heels to Kane Scott and Craig Beard just to extend that championship lead. Well done, Angus.
Win number 3 for Angus Fogg. Here's a replay. This is McLaughlin and Edgell. Just as you said, Mark, just looked like he locked up a brake. I don't think there was any contact made there.
No, none whatsoever. Just actually Timmy's own doing.
So Timmy Edgell with a troubled weekend. Andy Knight in the 5th position. Andy Booth in 6th. But it's all Angus Fogg for race number 2. Angus Fogg with the victory, 1.1 seconds clear of Kane Scott. Craig Beard in 3rd, followed by John McIntyre, Andy Knight, Andy Booth, the first Holden Hone in 6th, from Jason Bargwana, Paul Manuel, Martin Short and Eddie Bell. John Penny's run out of the top 10 ends here in race number 2. The Penny Homes Ford up against the tyres. Here's a look at the peak antifreeze replay. Penny's already gone off in the background. Martin Short and Scott McLaughlin, the 2 series rookies. That's what happened to Scott McLaughlin at the end of that one. On board here with Short looking down the inside. And the 2 youngsters getting together, ending McLaughlin's chances of a top 10. He was going back through the field with problems anyway. Entertaining stuff. Angus Fogg, the winner. Here's Sean Summerfield with the race winner.
Mate, I tell you, I've been talking to your crew because I said, what is going on with Foggy? Because there wasn't a single to put wrong there. They said he's in a much happier place. Is life really that good?
Life's fantastic at the moment, yeah, absolutely. And 2 wins doesn't get much better than that. See what the reverse grid throws at us now, but the car's fantastic. Was a little bit more consistent in that one, so yeah, looking forward to it.
I have been guilty in the past of making comments about fog and the red mist and whatnot. Have you cooled down?
I don't know that I have really. I am in a better place, and it's easy to do that when you're kind of on top of things. Like as you see, Johnny Mack has usually missed a call. He's kind of struggling and making mistakes, and you know, we're not all perfect. So you know, I'd like to think it's my day in the sun today, and we'll make the most of it.
How Sunday will it be in the reverse gridder though?
Well, we're going to take quite a different approach to that. It's obviously very important to finish it off for the weekend for the points, and we'll just see what happens.
Well done. You still lead the championship. You're into the second half of the season.